When you first start up ShopCal Manager, you'll get a login screen. On the initial login, if you've never been in before, you'll want to use the user SCM and use the password that will be supplied to you when you request it via an email as per the README doc. The reason that I'm not including the password in this video is because it will be changing from time to time. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Now, user SCM has administrator rights. And so once we're in, you're going to get a main menu screen similar to this. One of the first things you want to do is go in and set up users. And here you want to add a user. And we're just going to call this user Joe. And we're going to give him a password. And we're not going to select the startup script. Now we're going to assign Joe as the administrators. So if this is you, you want to assign you as administrators, not admin, not accounting, not anybody else, administrators. And we want to go ahead and apply that. And so once we've done that, now you have your setup with your username and password that you can log into to get in here. You can then change the password on SCM if you want. I please ask you not to change anything on the user Preston because I will need that if something breaks on your system and you need my assistance to get in and do something. Probably one of the first things you'll want to do is do the company setup. And in the company setup, you'll basically just open it up and you'll replace the data that is in the screen on the screen here because the system is only going to allow you to have one company. So you can't set up another company and leave the example company in here. So you'll just fill this in. You click on this little picture guy here and it will allow you to browse out and select your own logo if you happen to have one. Needs to be in either bitmap, JPEG, or PNG format. The size doesn't really matter, but naturally, you know, the bigger the file is, the more room it's going to take up. It'll auto size it to fit within this box. One of the things that you're going to notice up here is where it says USA. And what this is defaults to USA. So if your company is in the United States, just leave that alone. If your company is in Canada, you click on that and it changes a few things over here. But also in Canada, their tax number that your company will have has to appear on the invoices. And so by selecting that the company is located in Canada, and if you have a tax number in here, then that will appear on the invoices where it needs to be. But we're just going to go ahead and leave this as USA. Once you're done in here, and this is your company disclaimer that goes on the bottom of the invoices and such, once you're through with all these changes, just save the record and then close out of that if you want, and you'll be set up. One of the other places that you'll want to go in and set up is the pricing matrix. And the pricing matrix, it comes with some examples already in it. The basic information that you'll need to put in is your breakpoints and the price for a one color print all the way down this row as it pertains to that. And then you can fill in the increase buys over here. And so when you click on these, then I have a dollar, it will add a dollar to $3, then a dollar to $4 and such until it fills in all the way across. So whatever value you put in here, you just go down and work your way down. Uh, the additional print locations, because this only applies to the first print location. The additional print locations, this autofill is uh, in the latest version of SCM, it actually says reduced by instead of autofill by, because that's a little bit more accurate. But basically, if I put 3% in here and I click this button, it's going to take these figures over here and reduce them by 3% and fill this in. If we want to charge the same amount for additional print locations as we do for the first, then we would just set this to 0%, and then we would click the autofill, and now this matrix is an exact duplicate of this one. It So like I said, whatever percentage you want to bring it down. The price increase up here uh, is if you want to uh, increase your prices by a certain percentage, say next year, a couple years down the road, you decide you need a price increase, just put that in there. If you run a negative number, it will actually reduce the prices. A good use of that is if you want to say you have wholesale customers and your print pricing is so much percent less than it is for retail, you would duplicate uh, this particular matrix and then give it a new name like wholesale, and then you would just put in whatever percentage reduction that you give those customers. Embroidery, basically the same as that. You set in your stitch breaks to here across, and your quantities, again, fill in the first part and then add over here and just do the increase. Now you can, if you want, just go through here and key in every number, but that's a lot of work. Add-ons, basically printed names, uh, embroidered names, darks, a lot of things like that. I've had a request to go ahead and add in uh, films. There's another place out there that has a deal that I may just relabel for it. And so all your upcharges and add-ons here. The quantity breaks here is basically a percentage markup that is uh, added to the default markup in the products. So if you've got a shirt in the products catalog that's default marked up at 30%, and they buy 1 to 11, ShopCal is going to add another 51% for a total of 81% to the garment before it adds any print charges. Uh, Customers. When you get in and you're going to do your customer setups. Now this is actually running off a network, and I'm actually pulling the data from XP with an old Pentium in it, so it's sometimes a little slow. Basically, same thing. The customer ID number is system set. You can't change it. You just fill in your customer information over here, the customer type. If they're taxable, set it to taxable. Tax rate, and this tells it what matrix that this customer is using. That was off the pricing matrix over there. You can go down through here and select and any of these as you've got them in, and it's going to automatically change over here. If I want to bring it down to where I just want to see the customers with B, start with a B, I click on that. It'll be clickable if there's a customer that meets the criteria of starting with that letter. So I can go through here and look at the customers here. So as I build this list, it can you can sort by the customer name. If we want to show all, we just go ahead and click back on show all, and it'll bring it should bring that back up. Okay. So we're back up. You've got here. We're on show all. We're back up on this. Another quick thing down right here is kind of like a history of what's going on. This particular customer's got four invoices and quotes. Three of them are invoices. One's a quote. Um, the quote dollar amounts for the ones that haven't been converted just adds up the total of them that are quotes. This is the total of all the invoices that they've done that are actually invoices, the amount of payments, and how much is still owed. So there's a little bit of useful information there. And then we go to the orders. There again, it takes a little while for this to load up sometimes uh, because I'm on the slow Pentium. Now, one thing that we've got here is, like I said, the customer numbers here. When we click on new, um, it's going to bring up our list of customers. There again, we can just select one here. We can find, if it's a long list, locate, whatever else. We can actually even enter a new customer through here. Once we uh, have one that we want, we just select OK. It loads it in here and automatically sets them to the correct uh, pricing matrix that we had decided that or we had set in their back in their customer information. So when we want to do our styles, we just click on the style number here, and if we type in like PC61, it will go ahead and zero in on it. If we want to know a little bit more information about that, I'll go over that in just a second. But one of the things that you want to do when you go in here is you want to pay attention to the pricing groups. Uh, it's zeroed in on PC61s, but you'll notice there's more coming down here. This is for the PC61 small through extra large neutrals, which are going to be your whites and possibly your naturals. And then you've got the lights, which are going to be ash, and then the darks. And then here come the 2X, the 3X, the 4X. So you want to make sure you select the correct one for the right pricing group. We're just going to go ahead and select the lights if we wanted that. If I wanted to know a little bit more information about that product, I can click on there, and it brings up our product information, and it tells us that the PC61 small through extra large neutrals, vendor is Sanmar. Our current cost according to the catalog is $1.76. Our base markup is 30%, and our ship is 25 cents. So we've got this in here. We're going to come over here, just basically say it's a white shirt, and then we're going to come, and they're going to get about 50 of them. So we've got 50 white shirts in here, and once we've done that, it started to start applying things to it. You'll also notice that this calculate button is turned red. So we're going to turn on here and come and put in one color on the front. And if there's nothing else that we're going to do to it, we just go ahead and hit calculate. And once we calculate it out, um, you'll see that we have our price up here for the total invoice. If we wanted to add anything else on it, like flash, I already went over here and kicked it in. Have it calculated again. We're going to do that. It adds the flash in. If I want to divide the screens in, I just calculate it, and it does that. It gives us a little bit of the information that's over here, how that all plays in. Artwork. For the artwork to stick, you're going to need to put one ink color in there. So we're on white shirts. We want to stick a piece of art in there. We're going to put black ink on it. So we're going to do, say, basically uh, this particular deal and put that in there with our black ink. This front and everything else, it all comes from up here. The button right here, screen print, it does two things. It tells ShopCal which art to display on the invoice, in this case screen printing art, and it also tells ShopCal which artwork approval form to bring up. So if we click on the screen print um, button, and we've got that as screen print, when we click on the invoice, uh, it should load here in just a second, and we will have the basically the invoice in a preview mode. And from there you can email it out or whatever you want to do. So here's our Norm Freed um, artwork down here, our invoice total, all this stuff on here. If we want to email it, we just click on here and then send. We want to print it. I mean, save it to computer. We click here, and if we want to print it, we click there. We're going to go ahead and execute. Do the same thing on the artwork approval. We click on the artwork approval form, and it'll load up here, and then we will be able to do the same thing, either email, save to computer, or print. Uh, Notes can go right in here. If you put notes in here, they'll show up on the invoice. Payments for this particular invoice, you just add them in here, and it will start uh, applying the payments to this, and then show up over in the customers area. That's a basically a quick uh, look at ShopCal. One of the things too is if you want to go ahead and bring everything into just a full fill mode, you click on that expand right there, and so now when we go through, we have the full screen, look all the way across. Anyway, that's about it. Oh, one other thing. When you first get ShopCal, it'll run for 30 days in trial mode. After that, it will require registration, or it will stop allowing you to enter any records. Just click on the About, and click on the registration, and then do the order update registration. If you made a payment to it, you click that. Uh, the initial ShopCal will come with price will cover 2 seats, so just set that to 2 seats if you don't want anything else additional, and then you've got an email, and click, and it will send off an email. Make sure you put an owner name in here. We use this for our records to, if you come back later and say that you changed your computer and your computer crashed and you need to reset up on a new computer, because these registration numbers that I will send you back are uh, uh, computer dependent. They will not work on another computer. Once you have the registration number you back from us, you click on that and just enter the registration number right in here. And once you do that, it will show that it's registered. And that's basically it on the short information about SCM.